had two very important jobs over the last 2 weeks. Congressman dealing with the speaker's race in Washington, and a father, the most important job, who had a son in Israel when the attacks there broke out on October the 7th. His son, who's with us now, returned from Israel safely a week ago on Saturday, just after the attacks.
Joining us now is Michigan Congressman Bill Huizenga and his son, Adrian. Adrian, we're glad that you're home and that you are safe. I know you were pursuing a master's degree in Israel when Hamas attacks broke out. Talk to us about what you experienced there.
Yeah, I was studying biblical history and geography in Jerusalem, and I woke up that Saturday morning with the sirens going off, and I heard a boom, which was from the Iron Dome. And from there, it was this week of seeing what this war from Hamas, and I felt very safe at the school, but it was constantly what's going on and curfews, and felt safe then, but was concerned about what it was going to look like tomorrow and how long was this going to continue till airports shut down and it was going to get hard to get out. And so I was very thankful for Congressman Mills's team, who then contacted me and helped me get out within 24 hours of contacting me. And that was really great because I'm home now and I feel safe, and I'm really thankful for them.
Yeah, that Congressman Corey Mills of Florida, one of the unsung heroes of what we've seen play out over the last 16 days. Congressman, Dad, what was that like for you and the family?
Yeah, it was kind of odd because obviously, as you had mentioned, I've got a job as a member of Congress where this, unfortunately, is a pattern that has repeated itself. Afghanistan, think of that, right? You know, we start having constituents calling in a panic asking, how do I get out? I've got a loved one there. I've got grandkids there. We've got parents that are there on a trip or whatever it might be. So on one track, I've got myself and my staff working on helping other constituents, and then I've got my own constituent that I'm worried about and taking a sort of a measure of what was going on. And I had visited the school and had visited Jerusalem earlier in the year over Easter and Passover and Ramadan. All three were happening at the same time. So I was feeling good about the safety of the school itself, but knowing what was happening around it. And obviously Jerusalem's right next to West Bank. It's a ways away from Gaza. But as Adrian had mentioned, I mean, you can hear Iron Dome. He would talk about hearing the airplanes overhead and hearing artillery and those kinds of things. So when I called Corey Mills, that is, I really was looking for an assessment of what his general take was on safety on the ground, because not only for Adrian, but for other constituents. And what he said to me is, he said, Bill, this is going sideways quickly. We need to get Adrian out. And if you've got other people, we're going to help them get out too. And so that's what really kicked off a very rapid, situation getting Adrian out of the country. Interestingly enough, Adrian was sitting on our couch telling myself and my brother and sort of debriefing about his getting out of the country on Monday, this past Monday, so a week ago today, sitting on our couch here in Holland, Michigan, when the State Department finally called and asked where he was, whether he was safe, and how they could help him get out of Israel.
That's
a little too late, guys.
That's the problem.
That's a metaphor for the Biden administration right there.
Exactly. Thank goodness for Congressman Mills, and other folks like Project Dynamo who are out there having rescue Americans like your son. Adrian, we're so happy that you are home and you are safe, and Dad, I'm sure you are too. I want to quickly talk a little business here on state side. You have another thing on your plate, which is the speaker's race. A bunch of names have been thrown in the hat, thrown their name in the hat, their hat thrown in the ring there. There we go. So who are you going to support?
Yeah, I look, going back all the way to all of our previous elections, I have not talked about who I'm going to support publicly, because I think it is important that we come out and support whoever the conference chooses. I was fully behind Jim Jordan. I was behind Steve Scalise prior to that. Here's what I do know, and maybe the one thing I will agree with Liz Cheney. This is an embarrassment. We have got to get together. Now, I'm not sure why anybody else is listening to her and her opinion about what's going on the House. She's always been on the outside anyway. But at the end of the day, we have to do this. And here's why. Because there's no check on the Biden administration right now. Southern border, energy policy, certainly what's happening in Israel. We've got to have the House of Representatives up and running because it's the only check on the Biden administration right now.
Adrian, 10 seconds. Do you have a favorite for Speaker?
What he said.
What he said.
Dad
Good.
doesn't give
Good.
the answer, we're going to go to Adrian.
Dad, you're proud, aren't you? Adrian, just quickly, do you plan on going back to Jerusalem to continue your studies at some point?
I'm hoping to continue my studies, and I don't want this to prevent me from doing that. And so, but it also needs to be safe. And so once that criteria is met, I plan to return.
All right. Glad to hear it. Congressman, you got a very nice family.
Yes,
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Lots
We'll
more
talk
coming
to you
up
guys
here.
soon.